Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective. Happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday. I've already shuffled everything, so it's Self-Care Wednesday. I'm going to pull a few thought cards to start us out with, and then we'll jump right into I pulled the self-care deck today, and interestingly enough, as I was shuffling, all these cards literally just popped out. Good morning, older sibling. So I am going to just go with that and see what happens, okay? So, like I said, I already shuffled, so let's just pull some cards. Life is good if you allow it. Life is good if you allow it. I know a lot of people are probably sitting there going, you say life is good if we allow it, but what if we're constantly hoping? Well, you have to do more than hope. You have to feel it. You have to find that gratitude in every little thing, even the bad things. I know that might seem hard, and I know you're probably thinking, girl, seriously, are you dumb? But sometimes I feel dumb, but no. This comes from firsthand experience. We can wish until the cows come home what we want life to feel like, be like, turn out like. But if you're not willing to put that energy towards it, if you're not willing to put that effort towards it, then it might struggle to find you. It might struggle to get to you, because you're blocking it with the bad juju, right? With the bad energy. And when I say trying, it doesn't mean, go out there and make things happen. I mean, yes, go out there and make things happen if that's your thing. But I know a lot of people struggle. I know a lot of people struggle just to get out of bed. And that's part of the trying. Try to. If you can't, that's fine. Don't make yourself feel bad. But at least try. Try to raise that vibe. And if you can't get out of bed on a particular day, just sit there and gratitude. Be grateful that you're awake. Be grateful for everything around you. Your electronics, your home, the roof over your head, your utilities. All the things that we normally take for granted that other people don't have and don't even have the opportunity to take for granted. So, all these little things that we think don't mean anything can mean something huge to somebody else, I'm sorry. Okay, so sorry about that. I don't know what is happening with my internet today and last night, but it's going crazy. But a lot of times I just get giddy, right? And I go through the pens, and then sometimes I just kind of pull them out as I need it, because I want to see the excitement, because I like the places they've been to, and they remember me, and that's the biggest part. But like this pen, this is Smokey the Bear. Okay, I love Smokey the Bear. I grew up with Smokey the Bear. I have a Funko Pop with Smokey the Bear. So it's these little things. I'm grateful for this pen. I'm grateful for the fact that my dad actually thought about getting me a Smokey the Bear pen. He just thought I'd love it. And I do, because only you can prevent forest fires. But those are the things I mean. That's trying. Gratitude is trying. Okay, good morning, baby sibling. Happy hump day. Hump day, hump day, hump day. I had to save that for her. So anyways, kudos to baby sibling yesterday. She hung in there with me. Yesterday's perspective was a hot freaking mess. The camera was falling over several times. There was so much noise around me. I did listen back yesterday, and I could actually hear myself, so I am grateful for that. Then when I tried to post it to YouTube, apparently it was catching the music above my head, and YouTube could hear it. So then there was this whole, licensing thing. So I'm like, you know what, forget it. If people want to see it, they can see it on Facebook. And bad angles. You can see right up my nose. But and poor lighting, right? But you know what? I don't regret doing it. Because, it was like baby sibling said, the show must go on. And I did. I made it happen. And with her encouragement, I also made it happen. So yay for that. So remember, life is good if you allow it. You have to get those frequencies and vibrations going higher. All right. Next one, just chill. Don't be hasty. Don't rush to judgment. A lot of times we like to be hasty and rush to judgment. A lot of times that leads to the incorrect conclusion. So, just try to feel out the situation. Okay, try to feel out the situation and make sure that you are not jumping to conclusions. Number 3, think positive thoughts. That kind of goes with the first one, right? Think positive thoughts. That will help you raise your vibration, raise that frequency that you have inside of you. Let's see. Live free. Live free. Live free means to let go of the anchor of dread and hook yourself onto the balloon of trust and happiness. Because that's what you want to do, right? You want to float away into all the excitement and joy that life has to offer. I know you got mountains to climb, but always stay humble and kind. And underneath it, it says, change is about removing the negative, not the positive. Change is about removing the negative, not the positive. There are times when things happen in our life and we sit there and we think, wow, how did I make it through that? And that's a positive. Believe it or not, that is a positive. Yes, you may have felt like you were raked over the coals. Yes, you may feel like somebody just took a knife to your back and just stabbed you 5 billion times, right? Because that's what pain does. Pain can be so debilitating, but that's a positive because you made it. You survived. You survived whatever it is that you needed to survive. Okay, and remember, we're going to have times in our life where we think things have, sometimes we do have those pity parties, and someone will come along and their pity party will be even worse, and we're thinking, oh my God, why am I complaining? Your feelings are valid, okay? They are valid, but the key is to not hang on to them so long. That's another thing I've learned from experience. Don't hang on to them for so long because, it just feeds the anchor of dread. In fact, I think I want to talk about that for a second. So I was talking about older siblings' appointment yesterday, and I was so cranky on the way to dropping her off, and it was terrible. It was terrible. I mean, this is like an exciting moment for her, an exciting part of her life, and I'm a little embarrassed to talk about this, but I think it's important because when we acknowledge things and we accept the responsibility for them, it's very possible that you are opening a gateway of more healing. You're opening a gateway to more understanding of yourself. And it literally took me all day to kind of process this. I mean, there's a lot going on. So it's not until you really, hunkered down in the quiet, right? That your thoughts really start coming in and you start processing the day. And last night while I was journaling, actually, no, I'm sorry. I was in bed and it was this morning that I was journaling. And I wasn't, there was a legitimate reason why I was upset at first because we had to rush to get to her appointment. And sometimes older sibling, I love you, older sibling, but sometimes she feels like my child, okay? Like the child I did not give birth to. Trying to get her out of bed in the morning is like, now I know what my mom went through, okay? Because, for the most part, I usually woke up. But those nights when you wanted to stay up late and you're convincing your parents, no, I'll be fine the next day. And then you're just like, I don't want to get up. That's older sibling. But in her defense, she was so excited about this appointment that she hasn't really slept for a couple of days. She slept, but it's more like napping, right? And so it really kind of put us behind. And I admit, I'm so anal. I like to be on time to places. I really do. It frazzles me when there's an appointment time and I'm late. And I'm working on that. I really am working on that whole go with the flow. Everything happens for a reason kind of thing, but it's a process. However, after I told her I'm going to start tricking her because she runs on Hawaiian time and I'm going to start telling her we need to leave earlier, it took a dark turn and I just got rude. I just got straight up crazy ass bitchy. And I was sitting there yesterday after the perspective, and I wasn't really journaling. I was actually walking to the Starbucks. And in that walk, you get clarity, right? Because you're just kind of, you become mindful when you're walking. And I realized that the first part I tried to justify, and I wasn't yelling. I don't think I was that mean. I was just kind of very stern. But the second part where I said it took a dark turn, that was not fair. And I sat there, and then so when I got my Starbucks, and my pink drink. When I got my pink drink and I sat down and I started to journal a little bit, I realized that, oh my God, I was jealous. Not because of her procedure, okay? Because, but I've been so excited for her. But I've always said how I kind of had this underlying feeling, and I even told her this yesterday on the way to the appointment when I finally, got my shit back together. And I told her, I said, God, I'm so excited for you. But I said, I think I've just been worried. Good morning, Ladina. That the reason I felt like this dread inside is because I was so worried that the other shoe would drop and things would fall through. Because in this particular case, in what she has been working on to get into this appointment, things have fallen through. I mean, it's not been for lack of trying, but this time it worked out. And I didn't have that faith that it was going to work out. So I thought, okay, so maybe that was it. But when I started journaling and I mentioned that I was jealous, it was because I was thinking, I'm working so hard to make things right in my life, but nothing seems to be falling into place. Nothing seems to be working. There are no opportunities. At least I feel like there are no opportunities out there. There's, and it's a mindset, yes. But, opportunities, in my field are a little rare at the moment. But also just what I want to do with my life. You read all these books and you read all these articles and you listen to all these videos, and they tell you if you stay open and you stay kind and you stay this, that, and the other, doors will open. So keep your eyes open for the signs, right? And I feel like everyone around me has all these wonderful things going on. There are people who are dating people that they've never dated before, or like people, well, let me put it this way. People with personalities that they've always looked for in somebody. Then there's other people who have been waiting and hoping for something, and those things are coming to fruition. And then you see other people like, oh my God, this just happened for me. I can't believe it. I'm so excited. And you're happy for them. And I'm happy for them. But then there's this thought inside of me that says, well, what am I doing wrong? And I got angry with myself. Not mad angry, but like just kind of like stern again, I guess. Not angry, but stern. And I kind of tried to sit myself down and think, what the hell am I doing wrong? I thought I'd opened myself up to all these wonderful things. I thought that I had opened myself up to possibilities and opportunities and life. And I even grew to the point, or I even got to the point where I've grown patient, waiting and waiting and waiting. And when it came, and I think that's why there was that jealous feeling with older sibling. And after I picked her up from her appointment, and I had time to think about it, and I had time to journal in my book, I thought I apologized to her, and I told her exactly where my thought process was on why I was apologizing, and I don't like to be the jealous type. I don't like to be the envious type, because where I generally come from, it's not a normal behavior for me. I am genuinely happy when good things happen to people around me, especially the people I just absolutely adore in my life. And I get excited for them, and I live vicariously through their excitement and their joys and their, happenings in their life. And I was embarrassed, and I told her that. I said, I'm so embarrassed by the way I felt. But when I was laying in bed last night, I realized for a very long time in my life, I lived with that anchor of dread. And we've talked about this in previous perspectives, where I talked about there's just this, you're happy, excited, but there's just that underlying feeling, like that lead feeling in your stomach that just kind of makes you feel so weighted down that, you want to be floaty, but you're not going far. Right? It's like having a balloon, but having one of those weights on them. So that, if somebody lets it go, it's not going to fly away, but it will float, but it's not going anywhere. And that's what the anchor of dread felt like. And yesterday when I was journaling before I picked her up, and I realized, wow, I owe her a big apology. I was thinking, I really want to attach myself to the balloon of happiness. Now, That doesn't mean the balloon won't get caught up in windstorms. It doesn't mean it's not going to bump into something. But what it means is that I don't want to hold on to this anchor of dread. And so last night when I was laying in bed thinking about this, and it wasn't shaming myself anymore. I told her, I was honest with her. I acknowledged my feelings and I accepted them for what they were. And I let go of the shame of that, because I've learned you cannot hold on to these things. If you do, you're going to overthink it. You're going to plant seeds you should not be planting. Okay? And when I was laying in bed, I realized I had that anchor of dread inside of me for so long that I was trying to replace it with something else. Because, like I said, jealousy and envy is not a normal part of me. You know, there are times when I'll get sad because I wish I have some of the things that other people have. And that's usually somebody to, be in a relationship with. But, life can get lonely. But, that's stupid. Okay, I mean, it's not stupid. It's valid because it's my feelings. But what I'm saying is it's not currently. It's just something that I just kind of think it is what it is. This is my life. And if something exciting happens in it, then great. But I'm a hopeless romantic, and I think I'm literally dying out on that, because I'm just in this place now where I just don't fucking care, because I'm tired of hoping. I'm tired of waiting and wishing and all that stuff. Obviously, you can tell it hurts. But, anyway, back to the point. I realized that I was trying to replace that anchor of dread. And the interesting part about that is, if I hadn't have journaled and I hadn't acknowledged and accepted my behavior, that anchor of dread would have really kind of tightened down and stuck with me until I did. So until I would have figured it out, which who knows how long it could have taken to figure it out, because a lot of times when we have certain behaviors, we move on to the next day and we've let them go. They're in our past now. And sometimes we can put so much distance between us and it that it might take a while to get back and figure out, like, why am I feeling like this way? Why am I feeling like this? And so I realized that by accepting and acknowledging my behavior, because I did feel bad and I was trying to figure out in my head, which are one of the tools that I've tried to put through in the self-love December, when I did something from like the last 2 days of November through most of December. And these are tools that I had learned. Why did I react this way? What was going on? And it's something that older sibling has kind of taught me. Bottom line it. Where is this coming from? And, when you have nothing but time because you're waiting for somebody, I had that time to think. And it kind of happened sporadically through the day. Okay, I sent my apologies and this, that, and the other. But it must have still been stuck in my head, because I knew that by the time I went to bed, and I was just kind of thinking over my day, I'm like, gosh, I'm still not really sure why I was feeling like this. And then when I thought about, when I kind of replayed it in my head and my apology, I felt that same anchor of dread in my stomach. Because now it's quiet. I'm in bed. I'm not doing anything. I'm not distracted by anything. And I felt it. I felt that lead lining just weighing me down. I thought, oh, that's why. I'm trying to replace an old feeling that I worked so hard to get rid of with a new one, because I don't know how to enjoy that balloon of happiness, that ocean of bliss. And I reminded myself, I'm worth it. And that's what I want other people to remind yourselves of. You're worth it. If you feel like you've wronged somebody, acknowledge it, accept it, and take responsibility for it. Or take responsibility for it, acknowledge it, and accept it. However, whatever order you want to go in. But you have to acknowledge it. And you have to take responsibility. When you take responsibility for your actions and you make yourself accountable for something, that can lead to great healing. And I'm not a counselor or a therapist in any way, shape, or form, except that I was a peer counselor in high school. I don't know, I had to go through training for that. Not the same thing. But these are my experiences. And I know I'm not the only one feeling these because I'm a human just like everybody else, right? And our brains may work differently, but a lot of times the end results can be very similar. So again, sometimes we have to take responsibility for things because, or not sometimes, when we do something bad, we have to be accountable for it. We have to take responsibility for it. Because I truly believe in my heart, from my perspective, that it can bring that healing. It may have very well been that I just got testy yesterday morning because I needed to see this pattern that I was creating. And I don't want it to become a pattern again because, I don't want this pattern to become an actual physical thing again. So I had to cut that pattern. I had to rip it to shreds and throw it in the waste bin because that's not who I am anymore. That's not who I want to be. I want to be better, not bitter. I want to be genuinely, fully excited for people in the beautiful things that happen to them in their lives. Not because I need it to fill my cup, because I'm learning how to fill my own cup, but because I genuinely love these people. And I like to see people happy. I like to see them enjoying life. Sometimes it's because I struggle to do it myself. Because, I do get overwhelmed sometimes in trying to figure out which way to turn or looking for the signs or waiting for the opportunities to happen. But when I start to focus on other people, it takes my mind off of me. And then sometimes that's when the things happen, right? Because you're not putting yourself down. You're not lowering your vibration by making yourself feel like you're a horrible person. And those are the patterns that we need to cut. When you come out of traumatic healing, or a lot of deep shadow work, there's going to be patterns and habits that are going to try to keep creeping up on you and slap you because they don't want to be dismissed. They don't want to be thrown away. They don't want to be put in emotion jail. Okay. And that's a new place now. Okay. So now we've gone from the balloon of happiness to the jail of emotions and bad emotions, naughty emotions. And, the ones that hold you back. And we have to cut the ties to those anchors. We have to cut the ties to those things that try to hold us back, those feelings that try to hold us back. If they did not serve you before, they're not going to serve you now. Nothing's going to change. The only thing that's going to change is it's going to hold you back, just like it used to. And I say that as a change because you've let it go, but then you picked it back up again. So again, if something bad has happened and you feel like you need to take responsibility for it, do it, because this is probably going to lead to some kind of epiphany, even a mild one, on behavior patterns. And I discovered mine yesterday because I realized this is not the person I am. This is not the person I've ever really been. So this is not a typical standard behavior for me. I need to find out what's happening. Why is this happening? And I tell you, though, taking accountability and responsibility for your actions, it can be embarrassing, but it's also very empowering. Because you have to have courage to do it. You have to be brave. You have to accept the fact that somebody may turn around on you and say, well, you know what? You made me feel like shit and I don't like it. And yeah, it might hurt. And you're thinking, well, wait, I'm sitting here trying to be responsible and accountable. You caused this. But you were brave enough to face it. And don't argue. Okay, you've made your point. Maybe they're rebutting, and just accept it and hope that you can move forward, because that's what's important. Okay, that's what's important, is moving forward and moving away from that pain. We hadn't even hit the freeway yet, and we were talking about lunch. So I'm very grateful that older sibling is very patient and is very kind and understanding. And, she even patted me on the shoulder and she says, it's okay. It's okay. And I think because she acknowledged the fact that I was trying. And that's the thing too. If somebody is trying to take responsibility and accountability with you and it's genuine, hear them out. feel it if it's genuine. And if it does feel genuine and it does feel like it's a characteristic out or an abnormal characteristic because it's not something they're normally like, then, you know, try not to yell back. Just be patient, be kind, be understanding. It's okay to share your feelings. Just say, yeah, you know what, that kind of hurt me and I didn't understand where you were coming from, but thank you for being honest with me. And thank you for this. Thank you for your apology. I appreciate it. You know, and then try to do your best to move forward. All right, so let's get to the self-care cards. Number 1, music. Music makes everything better. Oh, older sibling, so sweet. She's all, it's because I know you and what a good person you are. Thanks. I'm embarrassed. But music is amazing. Okay, if you're having a bad day and you feel like the entire world just feel like it's going to crush you, put on some music. Put on your favorite music. You know, music is amazing. Music brings you away. It brings you to a whole nother world, right? It's an escape. You know, imagine yourself just floating on those musical notes, just, you know, floating away like little, remember, I don't know if anyone's old enough to, or I know some of us are old enough to remember, but for those that aren't, the Calgon, take me away. And so imagine that this musical note is like one of those bubbles just carrying you away. Time with friends can be very, very amazing because you're getting out of your own head. You're hanging out with people that you vibe with. You're probably going to have funny stories and share stuff. The last time I went out to coffee with my friend Cheryl, at one point, and granted, I said, put your phones away. We were both on our phones trying to show each other pictures of different things since I was trying to take a picture of something for her. And we just started going through, and next thing I know, she's sharing, you know, pictures of her boyfriend's pets. I'm sharing pictures of my cat, my kitties. I'm showing her pictures of my fur nephews and nieces. We just were going back and forth for almost half an hour and just finding animal pictures in our phone. And we kept giggling. And I said, seriously, who does this kind of stuff? And I was like, we do. Because, you know, it's what we do. We're visiting, we're talking, we're enjoying each other's company, we're having a good time. And we're laughing. And of course, there were little stories that were interwoven into that sharing time. So, you know, time with friends is always a good thing. Journal. What did I just say about journaling? Journaling got me through and helped me annihilate a bad pattern that was trying to start in my life. Journaling is the one place where you can be completely honest with yourself because it is your journal. You can hide it. You can do whatever you want with it. You can let people read it. But these are your thoughts. And it's important to get your thoughts out. And you don't have to write it in a book. You can put it on your computer. I have done I did one round of 117-day projects where I did it completely on the computer. And I have to tell you, I mean, I would write pages sometimes because I was just like, oh, I got to get all this stuff out of me. And all this stuff was coming out of me. And a lot of times I just, I tune in more. Like I go into this weird trance state when I'm typing because I love to write stories. And so sometimes it just happens. I get into the zone. So journaling is such a good and very, very important thing. Even if you were not a writer, I suggest, even if you just put like a couple of lines down, even just your emotions in a book. Pissed off, angry, happy, sad, joyful, gleeful, blissful, great day today. Put it down. Because sometimes when you have those bad days, you can look back and say, hey, I had a good day there and I can do it again. Look for fairies. We had this last week. Look for fairies. But you know what? Fairies are also considered nature angels. So if you're out of nature and you love nature, be kind to nature. You know, don't let the fairies kick your ass. Because if you're mean to nature, they might. So remember, it's not about where the message comes from. It's about the message. Connect with crystals. Okay, we're getting a little metaphysical here. We had fairies and now with crystals. If you are into crystals, they can be as tiny as this or this. This is my moonstone. I have been in love with moonstones for several years now, and they just resonate with me. Or this one, black tourmaline. Black tourmaline is protects you from negative energies. Moonstone is a lot of things. It's new beginnings, it's healing, it's a calming stone, and this is one of my favorites. And my favorite thing about this ring is that the Moonstone is actually being held by the wings of 2 dragonflies. So when I first saw this, I thought, oh my gosh, I love this, simply based on the fact that it really reminded me of my mom. And because my mom, I feel like, really kind of comes to me and talks to me, like when I'm feeling down, I always see a dragonfly. And I've seen purple ones, and I'm sure they come in different colors, but I've never seen any but the regular normal green ones. But for me, spiritually, I feel like it's her saying, hey, it's going to be okay, because dragonflies are continuing life. And I actually got into dragonflies a long time ago because a friend of mine who has since passed away, who really kind of taught me how to train a feral cat, when I first got my first fur baby, Riley, she loved dragonflies, and she kind of got me into them. She would send me little things that were dragonflies. So, but going back to the crystals, if you are a person that connects with them, then connect with them. They're not always going to be these ginormous ones that you see everywhere. Crystals can be any size. You can stick it in your bra. You can stick it in your pants pocket if you're a guy. Some of them are actually flat, and you can stick it in your wallet, right? But they bring a calming and soothing energy because they are part of nature. There are some crystals that are man-made, but you can usually tell which ones those are. They look like glass or plastic. But when you go to one of the metaphysical stores or spiritualist stores, you're going to find these things. They come from the earth. Some of them actually come from meteors that have fallen to the earth. But for the most part, crystals, they come from the earth. And they embody this beautiful energy. And a lot of people sit there and go, oh my God, there she goes. But when I got into them, I did the same thing. And then I could feel it. And it's like, whoa. And when you take care of them, they take care of you. And the last one, build strength. I've been working out every morning, Monday through Friday, for the last 3 weeks. And I have to tell you, I can feel the difference. I may not look like it's making a difference yet, but I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about, losing weight and looking great. What I'm focusing on is getting healthy and staying alive, because that's what's important to me, getting healthy and staying alive. So build your strength, and your strength isn't just about muscles. It's about working this muscle in here too, the one right between your ears. It's about making it healthy. Okay? You can't just work on all of this without working on this. And I've had to work really hard on this to be able to start working on getting healthy, because this is where my emotional eating started. It started in my head by overthinking and feeling totally powerless against my emotions, and then feeding them. And I don't shame myself for that anymore. But it's like I said, it's not about me trying to look hot or smoking whatever, but it's about getting healthy and staying alive now, because that's what I want. I want to be able to grow old. And if I continue down this path with my heart, that may not happen. So it's about getting healthy now. So, I guess that's it. It's Self-Care Wednesday. Like I said, I'm going to run over these cards one more time, and then I'll get going. But remember, music. Lose yourself in music if you're not feeling well. And if you're feeling happy, listen to music anyways. I mean, how great is that? Time with friends. Go out and hang out with your friends. Journaling can make everything better. Well, maybe not right away, but it will get stuff out of you that you need to get out of you. Get the venom out so you can heal and replace it with happy and good things. Looking for fairies. Hey, whatever floats your boat. Crystals, they can raise your vibe. And building strength. Build the mind, heal the mind, strengthen the mind, and that will help you strengthen and build everything else. All right. I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. I will see everybody tomorrow. Things to think on Thursday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Facebook Live. It is public. Anybody can watch, or you can catch it on the YouTube replay or on Twitter. All right. I hope everybody has a great day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching.